What's up, players? Welcome to the Nasty Soul channel, where we bring neo soul into your guitar playing. If you want an easy to follow approach for learning neo soul guitar, this is the place for you. Be sure to check us out on Patreon to follow along this lesson with interactive tab and slowdown features. Now, whenever I look at Instagram, I see all these cats playing this dope shit in the neo soul style. It just sounds so cool, and a lot of times I'm like, what is going on, man? But when you break it down, when you learn it, it's really pretty simple. Now, we could simplify all those ideas into just 3 simple parts: the chord progression, the key signature, and passing chords. If we are able to identify and see how to work in those 3 different ideas, then we're golden and we could sound really unique and very hip. So let's start with what I call the most popular neo soul chord progression. And if you want to learn more about it, check out this video right here. So let's do this one in the key of C sharp minor. So our chord progression would be A major 7, G sharp 7, and C sharp minor 7. So number 1, chord progression. There we go. Those 3 chords, we can start simply right there, and boom. We could already play something kind of cool if we could break up these chords by arpeggiating them, which is playing notes individually, right? That's strumming the chord, and this is arpeggiating. Just breaking it up, real simple. And then we could think about any type of chord move we might know. So if you're familiar with the C sharp minor shape, you could hammer on your pinky on the E string and B string up to the 7th fret. So there we're starting to get something, right? Okay, so it sounds like a good bass. There's some general harmonic structure there, which is good. Then we go to the next part, part 2. Real simple, the key signature. Like I said in the beginning, C sharp minor. We know this from the top. That's dope. So we find our C sharp minor scale. I like to hang out in the pentatonics and just really start there and build from there. But let's always start with the pentatonic scale. So we have our C sharp minor pentatonic scale right there. And I could play my chord, arpeggiate it, do a chord move, pepper in the C sharp minor scale, kind of anywhere you want, but a good place to start is to play the chord and play some of the scale. So I could play my A major chord. Now our last part is passing chords. I'm looking for some cool chords to add to bring in some more tension and maybe take it outside a little bit, and just that'll make it a little bit more exciting, okay? So the first thing we could think of as a passing chord is a 5 chord, right? I want to put a 5 in somewhere. So if I know I'm in the key of C sharp minor, I should be able to already figure out that this G sharp 7 is my 5 of C sharp. Cool, so we already have that in there. But my first chord, A major 7, what is the 5 of that? E. So I could try and throw in an E7 before that A, and let's just see what it sounds like. Got this one, A major, a G sharp 7. Even something as simple as that, right? All I'm doing is arpeggiating a real basic E7 chord. So that could sound cool. And I could even maybe spice up that E7 a little bit more, right? I could do like an E7 sharp 9. Okay, interesting. Now, maybe I want to add a little bit more to it. So, maybe I could do, instead of just a 5-1 to the A, I could do a 2-5-1. All right? So 2-5-1 to A would be B minor to E7. And I can make it a little bit smoother if I want by making it like a suspended E chord. So we could think of this like a D over E. And that could resolve nicely back to our A. And I could play around with that, stick in my key center of C sharp minor, and maybe have something that sounds a little bit like this now. Starting to sound a little bit more interesting. Now let's see if we could add a little bit more and just keep pulling it back, right? So I'm resolving on the A. I brought it back once to the 5, E. So that's my 5-1 resolve. I could bring it back one more to 2-5-1. Okay, nice. Now how do I bring it back one more to make it interesting to bring it to that B? Okay. So a very common move that we could do is have my C sharp minor, which is the chord that I played before that B already. It's actually just a nice chromatic movement away into that B. So that could be a really cool move to bring in a little bit outside, a little bit of chromaticism, makes your ear kind of pop a little bit, and then it resolves nicely to bring the chord progression all around again, right? So all of a sudden we're going from this basic 3-chord A major 7, G sharp 7, C sharp minor 7, to this. And that would be our harmonic structure that we could add to it and bring in that tension and release. And then we could play around with that with our scale and outlining these chords by arpeggiating them in any way. And then we could really play with it and come up with something interesting, maybe something like this. And our very last little ditty we could throw in there just to spice it up a little bit more. A nice ending chord that takes you out, that just makes you just feel a little bit something different, okay? So here, in the key of C sharp minor, we could take that A major chord and turn it into an A minor chord. Yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful move. And it doesn't necessarily work all the time with your major chords, but in this situation, let's just keep it simple and say it works like that and appreciate that. So now, when I play through my progression, I can do my whole thing. Have my A, then and if I want, I could even bring it right back around to C sharp minor. And on this cool, mysterious C sharp minor 9 chord at the end. So there you have it, the simplest possible way to break down this type of improvisation. And remember, all these ideas, they can go pretty deep. Like, we could get really complex about how to apply all these ideas, and you can keep on learning and learning and learning. But this is just the base knowledge. If you take this chord progression or any chord progression and apply these general ideas, just try them out. And not all chord progressions are going to work as perfectly, but use your ear at that point. It's all about experimentation and just trying to hear what works. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you got to try it. And the more you try, the more you're training your ear and your understanding of this harmony and of music in general. So try it with different chord progressions, try it with this. And if you want to learn a little bit more about which chords and scales to use in the neo soul context, be sure to check out my book, The Nasty Soul Starter. It's a perfect comprehensive guide that just lays out a good foundation of everything you need to know for rhythm playing, lead playing, and the moves that all involve the neo soul style. So check it out, and I want to say thank you to all my Patreon supporters who are helping keep this content going, and keep jamming it and stay nasty.